Are you up for a fun game to start?
Of course.
Start the episode.
You are up for a fun game,
and we haven't even promoted anything. We haven't introed anything, but we'll start with this. So I watched.
Well, we want to do the intro first, right?
Do we have to? We can do the game first.
Am I close enough to your mic?
You want to do the intro and then the challenge, or do you want to do the challenge?
What would you rather?
And then the intro
and then the
You
challenge.
tell me.
Oh, we let the guests run the show.
You can do whatever you want.
Let's do the challenge.
Okay.
Do the challenge first.
Okay.
Challenge me.
So I heard on an interview that you hate being told you can't do something.
Yeah.
So I think that you can't chug a can of cold brew faster than me. Are you up for the challenge?
I gotta sleep tonight. Do you know how much caffeine is in there?
We got the bowl.
It's still.
So you have to say.
It's still like
you have to say I cannot do that. Okay. You can wuss out. That's no problem.
Okay.
Or you can challenge me in a chug off.
Oh.
Which one do you choose? We can go on with the interview, and then everyone in Winnipeg will know that you did not take the challenge.
It's your own coffee.
Yeah, it's your own coffee. Or we can do the challenge. The choice is
like,
yours.
are you like you're probably like a beer chugging master or something? So
I don't drink.
Not.
You don't drink?
I've had 3 or 4 drinks of alcohol in my life.
All right, let's try one.
Okay.
Neither one of us are sleeping tonight.
There you go.
Okay. Oh, they're a little cold too.
They came out of we just took them out of the fridge.
Okay.
So this one is the bold. This is
it first,
this is the least.
No, you can't open it yet.
This is the least caffeine. I'm told.
Still a lot.
It's still a lot.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
Still like 160 milligrams.
So for anybody that's watching right now, this is the Nitro Cold Brew from Sheepdog, the bold version, and this is basically an energy drink replacement.
I would say we look like a beer, we are coffee, and we function like an energy drink.
Okay.
That's what I say.
Other thing, Tim started drinking energy drinks maybe a year ago for the first time ever.
And only once.
And it was due to a chug off. Because he chugged off against another guest.
Okay.
So this might be the first time he chugs a cold brew coffee.
Okay.
So
what are you shaking it for?
You're supposed to. He tells me to. Every time I
shake it, it's not gonna like.
Every time I watch his Instagram, he's popping cans.
So you you have to give a proper countdown. You can't just like open yours. Okay, can you give a 10-second?
You guys will beat me either way.
Can you give a proper 10 seconds?
3, 2, 1 crack or
3, 2, 1
3, 2, 1 crack.
Okay, just cover the top because it will foam a bit for you. Okay. Okay, ready?
Who's doing the 3,
I'll
2,
do
1.
the 3, 2, 1 crack because I know that you're super
3,
intense.
2, 1, and then
he hasn't even had an energy drink yet.
Okay, ready.
3, 2, 1, crack. Just listening to you guys try. Oh, you lost for the. You got it all over your shirt.
I got a little bit in the beer, but
you should have had the beard.
Soaks it up.
All right.
So what do I get if I win?
What's
I didn't expect to lose.
Okay. Get your earballs ready. Welcome to the Greg and Tim Show podcast. Here are your hosts, Greg and Tim.
You gotta chug it. Like you can't just let it drip all over the place.
We gotta reset this here.
Well, I find with like the mustache and the beard, things just absorb into it.
So then it just and then you can just go like this afterwards.
Yeah. Holds the smells.
So I had a beard and a mustache combination.
Well, you had a beard.
Well, there was a mustache connected to a beard.
Yeah.
And for like a couple of years, and I had never. And then all of a sudden, I would just want to shave it because I turned 50 a couple of weeks ago.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. And but then people were accurately guessing my age all of a sudden with the beard. They're like bang on. Whereas when I didn't have the beard, they're like, "Oh man, you look so much younger." And then someone came up.
True though.
Someone came up to me at church after I shaved and said, "I thought you were Tim's younger brother." And then I was like, "Don't ever put the beard. Keep the clean shaven look." So I'm having a hard time bringing it back, but now I'm seen as the person that doesn't have a beard.
Yeah.
So I feel left out.
You know, I think your skin feels better when you shave.
Yeah.
Like my skin dries up. And
when you have the beard underneath of it doesn't really get that moisturizer and everything. So but
let's do the intro.
You want to do the
shall we?
now?
Well, after all of that said and done, joining us today is a man who has transitioned from the world of policing and public service, which he used to do, you're a cop, to the art of the perfect roast. He's the founder and owner of Sheepdog Coffee, a brand that's less about latte art. As they say, latte art, and more about fuel for the folks who get things done. Who was the guest that said "get done"?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The protectors, the early risers, the ones standing watch while the rest of the world sleeps their lives around. Welcome to the show, Shawn Black.
Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to it.
It's good seeing you.
Yeah.
And it's fun because when you think of coffee, you think of lattes, you think of Starbucks, and you're kind of like bucking the trend with everything right now. So but we didn't really want to talk to you about coffee.
Fair.
We want to talk to you about why you
Well,
do
we're going to talk to
coffee.
him a little bit about coffee.
Sure.
So we're going to get into a little bit of that, a little bit of the coffee, a little bit of the why. One thing that I remember probably a couple months ago, I reached out when you were starting to make your videos on LinkedIn, and I said, you're starting to do the Gary V thing.
Maybe a little bit.
You're starting to like.
I literally just sat 10 feet away from Gary Vee 2 days ago.
And I was going to say, you just saw him kind of like full circle there, get to see him in person. How inspiring are you after seeing his keynote?
I mean, I think that what's cool about any public figure like that offers good advice is they just, all of them just tell you to do the right thing. Look after people, be bold, go for it, take risks, live your life. Like that's really what they all say. And so Gary's very much, all he just tries to do is just tell people to like, stop being scared of what people think and just go do something. And so it was, it's just always nice to like when you see his content or see him in person, it's just like another good reminder to like, just go for it. Like he posted a video the other day. And it was crazy. He talked about how much content they're trying to punch out now. It's like hundreds of pieces of content a week, all from Gary, like Vaynerchuk Media. But he has this one where he's sitting there in the corner, like trying to film himself. And he's like, people will not post about themselves or talk about themselves when they're trying to build something because they're scared of how it looks in public. And he's like, why do you give a what somebody who's doing nothing with their life thinks across the table or across the room or walks by you somewhere? Like you get one opportunity, so go for it. And that's his whole thing. So I just love like his content and being able to like sit that close to him too, right? When you see a public speaker, it's one thing to be at like in row 100 where they're this little speck and you got to watch the screen, but to see that, whenever I go see public speakers, I always like to be up and close where you can really like feel everything that they're saying because they're right there,
Yeah.
It's like more like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was awesome. I think I left feeling fired up.
That's why we sit in the front row at church. Well, not front row. I like second row at church because there's a row of chairs in front of me that I could put my hands on.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't know what to do with. I don't know what to do with my hands when I'm in the front row. I know you can put them up, but like sometimes I'm just like whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll sit in second row or third row because that way the anointing hits us first before everybody gets the leftovers at the back.
Yeah, the less holy in the back. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
We go with that, right?
What's that?
Right?
Yeah,
that's the same reason why you sit close.
No, I go to I'm a front row guy. I'm a second row guy.
Yeah.
They just can't leave early then.
You can't.
Well, you can. You just got to pick the right time to leave.
Yeah.
You got to get out early on your own time. Okay.
Yeah.
So, coffee.
Yeah.
What's this? We have this running joke with our friends about there's half of our group that drinks coffee and that half of it doesn't. And I say the coffee drinkers are the one going to heaven. That's how it works, right? You get to heaven, you get a cup of coffee, because it's next to godliness, right? But why coffee?
Coffeeness is next to godliness.
Coffeeness is next to godliness. It's the same thing. Well, so what the heck's so special about coffee that you're into? Quote unquote.
So like I was a cop for a long time. So I became a cop when I was 21. It was like a month before my 21st birthday, so really young. And I remember like you'd get a coffee, and the only options were if you worked a day shift, you could get a Starbucks or something. But I worked in the core my whole career, so. But most times you get a coffee like Tim's or 7-Eleven was the other spot we would go for coffee, and it kind of sucks. And I don't mind energy drinks, but I would prefer just to have a coffee. Like I'm a simple guy. Like when I've been sober for a few years, but when I drank, I just wanted like a simple beer, a whiskey, like a scotch. Like I like just simple things. So coffee to me is like a good, simple energy drink. It's nature's energy drink.
Yeah.
And so, so the company started as our hobby. So it was me and another cop, and we were partners, and we were talking about like doing something on the side. So we talked about all the firefighters do roofing and stuff. So we talked about doing construction, but just had this idea for coffee, and we started just doing it as a side hobby, and it was just kind of fun, and we sold to friends and family. But now it's gone full circle. Now we're like he's no longer involved, so Still good friends.
You
but
pushed him out.
yeah, squeezed him out. Yeah, corporate bigwigs. Yeah, yeah. So no, it was like now it's kind of come full circle, and like really kind of we found our niche with where we want to be, and to me, it's just like coffee brings people together, but it's also like soothing. Like I remember, you work night shifts and you're exhausted. Just the smell of the coffee in the car sometimes is enough to perk you up. And as a cop, you live in your car, right? So,
Yeah.
so just having that coffee there, even if it's now cold because you had to go to a crime scene, and you're there for 4 hours, and you go back and the coffee you just got's frozen in the cup holder. It still smells, and it still sort of gets you going. And like you don't smell a monster and be like, oh,
wait.
But you smell coffee and it does that for you.
So the cop shows in the movies where the detective, they have the coffee cup and they're looking through the crime scene.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to do that?
Well, the detectives are a bit different. I always worked I worked at patrol.
Wait, let's cut that. Detectives are a bit different.
Yeah, so I worked in the gang.
I watched Blue Bloods. They clearly have their cup of coffee.
The guys in the suits do things a little bit different, but I was always a street cop, so so we always wore uniform, and like when you're in the uniform, like anything can happen at any time, right? Like you're just, whether you're working an overtime shift at the grocery store because the people keep stealing, you're not just standing there. You're like hyper vigilant the whole time. So you can't have like your coffee mug in your hand.
But that could be a weapon too, especially if it's hot, right?
Yeah, but good luck justifying that in front of the judge. Like thump the guy out with my coffee mug. little trickier. They don't really have policy on
those new Stanley mugs.
Yeah,
those would be
the big foot long.
The ones mugs for the soccer moms.
Yeah. The self-defense coffee mugs. Yeah.
So you spent a time as a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're into Sheepdog coffee, which is doing quite well.
Yeah.
But if you were to...
Which, by the way, back in the day, you used to make like just you ground beans.
Yeah, we started as a coffee roaster.
So like a regular coffee.
Yeah, and we still sell a lot of coffee. Like we still sell tons of coffee beans. We supply a lot of offices and places like that, but really where we found our niche is in the canned cold brew coffee. So I built a whole custom beverage packaging facility, but I custom built the whole brewing system to be able to pull twice as caffeine out of coffee, twice as much as regular coffee, but none of the acidity, none of the sweetness, like super smooth and like naturally sweet.
And adding the nitro in it gives it the little bit of the froth and the
just like
creaminess.
So it adds that like creamy texture to it that you kind of get from cream or milk, but it doesn't add any calories and it's all natural.
Do you not have to put your caffeine amount on cans?
So because it's naturally occurring, we don't.
Okay.
And it's always a little variable. Like they did a study with Starbucks a few years ago where they went to like, I forget how many stores, but they go to like a whole bunch of different cafes and they get the same order at each and then caffeine test them all.
Yeah.
And even at a Starbucks level, like very standardized, like super corporate, there's still huge variations in the amount of caffeine.
Really?
So we've sent off multiple samples. We're always within a few milligrams, but we don't have like an exact. But because if you go get a coffee at a cafe, they don't have to label the caffeine content. It's assumed in coffee.
Okay.
So if we were adding coffee as an additive, then we have to post it. And then there's limits and restrictions. So if you were to take like a caffeine derivative and like blend it into an energy drink, then you have to label it.
Yeah.
But because it's just completely
pure
natural,
coffee.
Yeah, it's just assumed to be present in the coffee.
Okay.
And then people, people are becoming more educated now, especially in Canada, but cold brew, everyone knows has more caffeine. So it's like
it has more caffeine than a regular.
Double the caffeine of a normal coffee.
Because of how long it takes to brew the coffee itself. It sits in the...
Yeah, we do a true 20-hour brew. So there's some companies in the market, especially in the States, there's more, but they'll use like a fast extraction method to pull the flavor out of the coffee and call it cold brew. But we actually steep it for like 20 hours. So that caffeine molecule gets extracted more.
I drink coffee all the time. Honestly, it's mostly hot. I actually had no idea that cold brew has twice the amount. So
yeah. A lot more.
There's two questions we generally start the
I was going to do it, and then you cut me off.
So I'll let... Well, you already asked 3.
No.
How many questions do you want to ask?
I'm going to be
you want to ask all of them?
Yes, I do, because after I had that cold brew,
he's going to be wired.
I'm going to be like sleeping on the ground in half an hour anyway, so I got to get
Tim
through all my
doesn't
questions.
generally have anything to drink after 4 o'clock. Normally, and caffeine usually not after like
it's because then I have to pee in the middle of the night. I could drink a pot of coffee at 9 p.m. and go to sleep. I just have to use the bathroom.
You'll be wired tonight.
I am not going to be wired tonight. But the question we want to know is, outside of being a cop, which you were at some point, outside of coffee, can you tell us who is Shawn Black?
Well, my brand really is is an extension of me. So a lot of like what I do with my brand is very much me, and that was intentional. I wanted to have a brand that felt like I didn't have to. It doesn't feel like work when I work in my company. Like I love it. I love the branding. I love the community we built around it. But I love like I'm just a sorry, I shouldn't swear, but
No, you can't.
I'm a regular guy. I love to fish. I love to hunt. I like building things.
Mhm.
I love just I love like deep conversations. So I love like diving in deep with people. I'm really into stoicism, and then I'm Christian as well. So like I love talking about faith, and I love talking about just like what's possible in the world. I love like just getting in deep with people. I'm pretty bad at being like a fun guy at a party, but if you want to sit and have coffee with me, like I bet you we can go some cool places. So uh, I think that's kind of I'm really interested in the human mind. I think that's a big part of who I am. And then just like regular dude stuff. Just yeah, I love
Blowing stuff
catching
up.
fish. Yeah, like and I was in the military before, and so I was a combat engineer, so that we did explosives, and that was I got to blow a lot of stuff up. So that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. And
And now all the nitro just gets put into the coffee.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just it's a new form for me.
Yeah.
We were hanging, and that's a great answer. Thanks so much for that. I was hanging out with some guys in the last couple of weeks, and we had this conversation. And I wasn't going to ask this question, but you kind of went there a little bit.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation with a couple of guys, and one of the guys said, I give my heart quickly, and I'll go deeply quickly with somebody. And the other person said, it takes a while. I don't really feel comfortable doing that. And it takes a long time for me to build that trust to be open, especially with another man, right? Do you find for you, because you like to go deep, that you meet someone for the first time, let's say it's another dude, and you're fishing, and is that your natural tendency? Or do you kind of takes that a while to build that? Well, I don't know if you know if I'm asking what question I'm kind of
I think
asking.
I know. I'm this way with my staff too, and anybody, as I am full trust immediately, and it's the other person's job to maintain that. And I like to think I'm quite lenient, and like I try to lead my team in a very understanding way, and also there's some expectations, but I'm not the type to withhold everything and then slowly open up trust. I'd rather just give you the benefit of the doubt, and it's burned me a couple of times, but it also has like blossomed in beautiful ways in other places. So I'm a full trust first kind of person, and I think like what's sad about guys that don't do that is there's always this like they've never sat down and wrote down the checklist that a person has to do. It's all off feeling and vibe. And I think it just ruins your opportunity to build quality connections with people when you withhold it. So like, maybe you're not going to tell somebody about like your financial situation on the first hour of meeting them. And maybe you're not going to dump all of your trauma in the first 30 minutes with somebody, but exposing who you are and being vulnerable is going to build a relationship faster. Like, I think that that's so important for men's groups, and I'm a part of a couple of men's groups, and um, all of the guys that are quality additions to that group are ones that are like, hey, I'm here, I'm strong, and I'm capable of being more, but I'm weak sometimes too, and that's just like a way better way to connect with people, and it's sad when people don't do that, especially men, because being a cop, I've been to many, 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 many suicides. And I remember sitting right before I left the police, we were sitting in the lunchroom. There was maybe 10 or 12 of us there. And I asked, when you go to these suicides, how often is it men? And it was everyone at the table was like, it's almost always men.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think about like how sad that is. So why not open up and talk about things and get deep with people and build connection and and I just got back from this trip, but every trip I go to, I try to like meet someone. So I have a friend in a new city, and like you don't do that if you just talk about the weather and whatever the sports thing
BS
is. Like,
going
yeah,
on,
like no
yeah.
one cares. It doesn't carry any weight. So
Yeah.
so I like to lean in pretty hard, pretty quick. With boundaries. I'm not just gonna expose everything to anyone, but
Yeah.
but we can talk about some real
Do
stuff.
you think females do that better?
Here's something you'll never unsee. Now that I'm gonna say it now. Go to a party
Yeah.
and watch how men and women talk to each other. So women will always stand with their feet or their hips pointed at each other. And they're way better at getting in a group and talking about things and just working through them. And men will always stand with their feet parallel to each other and their shoulders parallel. And I'd like to think that's some sort of evolutionary psychology where women were better at like collaborating and building things together as a group, and men were better shoulder to shoulder, whatever that was, fighting or hunting or whatever it was, but shoulder to shoulder tasks. So I think we definitely struggle with it. And the other piece is that like you have to have some level of competency as a man to be like easily relatable to other men. So if you don't have some value and some grit to who as a person, like other men will toss you aside. Like we don't want the weak link in the chain, right? So I think it's really hard for men because there's that pressure between men that we don't talk about, where if we're not standing side by side with a peer, it's hard to like trust another guy to open up. And so I don't know if that really answers your question.
Oh, it's a
much,
great
but
answer.
And that's great.
And I'm thinking, and I think I read or I heard that you were a police officer because your dad was a police
He was
officer as
too,
well.
yeah.
Is that you had a good relationship with him and you wanted to be a cop because he was a cop?
Well, there was a lot of like being a police officer is a very like everyone remembers what I do when
Right.
you're a cop, right? So if you're
They watch what they say around you.
Well, and it's also the most like every TV show, every movie has a police officer or an authoritative figure role. So when you meet a cop, everyone's like, "Oh, he's a cop," right?
Yeah.
And their opinions don't really matter, but remember what they do change how they interact with you, and they remember you by it. So you get introduced as Shawn the cop. But when you're the head of product development at a manufacturing plant, you don't get introduced as that.
Right.
No one's like, "Oh, he designs metal machining parts for the agriculture sector." Like, like that doesn't become your identity the way it does with.
But what if
like,
you're a
like
doctor,
a fireman,
lawyer?
a cop,
there
a
are certain
doctor?
archetypes, right? You're a pilot. Like everyone's like, "Oh, the pilot, the doctor." Like there's archetypes, and police officers one of them. So and there's definitely a pressure, like as a kid, like when your dad. And my dad had a very successful career, worked in homicide, major crimes, almost his whole career. So there was definitely pressure there to live up to that shadow, right? That he cast. So. Yeah.
Interesting. You've gone from policing though to entrepreneurship, and it's two very different things. Like you go to work today and you don't have to worry about what you're going into like you would have as a police officer. What mindset or habit from being a police officer though has helped you to run a company?
Well, I think that people's perception of what a cop is very different than what I would tell people it is. So there's a couple of archetypes that I think when people think about cops, they think about the detective, the detective shows up and he's got his poorly fitted suit on. He shows up with his coffee cup and his clipboard or his notebook. Right?
Murtaugh.
There's that. And then there's like the very tactical version, right? These like guys wearing all the tactical gear and high and tight haircuts and being very like, yes, ma'am, just the facts, ma'am. Like there's that.
Yeah.
But in reality, like the model police officer that I tried to be was more of like the neighborhood police officer, like just
the one played basketball.
Yeah, like you're at one with your community. Like I always lived in central Winnipeg. I policed in central Winnipeg.
Okay.
I went to the foot patrol unit for a couple of years where my clientele was the person in the bus shack and then like the owner of the jets. And like we would have coffee with this, from the people who owned the buildings to the people who slept behind them every single day. And so I always thought the model police officer was someone that had grit to show up every day, but could relate to anyone. And so I think that's the biggest skill set. And one of the things that I never got to do full time. I was never a hostage negotiator, and we call them crisis negotiators. But I did a lot of work with them, and I got to help with some of their training. And that was one thing I didn't get to do in my career that I wish I had. But I really loved the idea of like tactical communication and relationship building. And whenever we would interview people for any sort of crime, it's all just human nature and it's all human experience. It all comes down to humans. And so I look at the business world now and I just think like everybody is a human. And so I take those same strategies, I guess you could call it. I don't systemize it in a way that's like, oh, I better do this, do that. But I take that same approach of like, whether they're the homeless person or the person who owns the business, they're just a human, and we can talk to them the same way every day and treat them with respect and knowing that almost all of their decisions, like even now, like as we grow the business across the country, like talking to the big buyers and the big distributors and now interviewing investors, like at the end of the day they all were born naked and are going to make all their decisions emotionally. And there's a few psychopaths that follow spreadsheets only, but most people are all
Accountants.
right. But there's a few.
I know
There's a few of those, yeah. But most people are emotion driven, and so if you can talk to people in a way that can break those barriers fast, that's the lesson from policing. Because the same and there are times when violence and chaos requires violence and chaos to stop it. And so there's obviously a time for all of the weapons in the police officer's belt. But the reason why 99.9% of all police interactions go really smoothly is there's some absolutely masterful police officers using their mind and their mouths to get things done.
Negotiating and
Yes.
talking and
Making sure
working
everybody feels
through
like they
things.
won,
Yeah.
and calming everybody down, and like that's the skill set.
very
It's
political.
very, the
Yeah,
job
yeah,
has
sort
become
of.
more political,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like it's, if you, like I use it like an extreme example, right? Like, say you arrest someone for some horrific sex crimes, like child pornography or whatever. The job of the investigator is not to crack the whip and throw the book at them. The job is to interview them and relate to them as a human and get them to talk about what they did. And then it's up to the judge to decide what the punishment is, not the cop.
Yeah.
And, I remember many times people being, barricaded in a place or with a weapon. It's the words that we chose, not the violence we chose to solve those situations. And so in business, if you can find a way to relate to people and talk to them like humans at any level,
Yeah.
whether they're the big opportunity you had or the person who just comes and buys a hot coffee at our store for $2, like it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's all about just human connection.
So you would subscribe to the theory that you don't actually sell a product, you're selling yourself.
Well,
so whether
we're selling
you're
a feeling.
yeah, whether you're in policing, you are your product. So you're going into the community, they get to know you, you get a track record, and you are the product in that situation. You're not a cop, but you're a good guy. They come to trust you wherever you are, whether it's a politician, whether it's the owner of the Jets, whether it's someone on the street. And the same thing with your coffee. That you deal with people, it's individuals, and they buy what you are, they buy you.
They're buying us, and then I think one of the things that I've been really trying to focus on lately is how do I spread that to my whole team too,
Yeah.
so that we amplify that.
Mhm.
And that's what a brand is. A brand is how does it when people see this, how does it make them feel? And so I think when people drink Sheepdog, like my hope is that they feel like they're gonna get done today and they can feel good about it. And we've really tried to target, with our marketing. And I hate that word target because we don't think of it as a dollars in, dollars out, but like we want to speak to working class people. Like we want to speak to people who actually, are willing to do whatever it takes for their family and like whatever. Like that's who we want to resonate with. And I think there's a lot of brands who don't try and do that. I think especially in today's hedonistic world, people try to sell brands to, they take the Kim K approach and try to be very aesthetic and posh, or they try to be, very appeasing to everyone. And I just think that we're really trying to buck that and be like, no, like we're just going to speak to the people who are like us that will appreciate what we're offering.
Yeah.
And it means everything. Like we donated over $30,000 to local charities that we have 3 charities that we kind of support before we ever took a salary or paid ourselves a penny. And we never talked about that. We didn't do it super publicly, but like, those things that we do as a brand and as a company are like the anchors that hold our value system together.
Yeah. And when you say the people that want to get stuff done during the day are the ones that are drinking your coffee, whenever I have this in my office at work, the staff know that they're going to hear from me multiple times throughout the day. Because I'm just like, I'll do laps. I'm like, okay, I have an idea for this. And like the caffeine gets you, and I only have to have one usually. So it is like that, that one and done type of thing. You get in the morning, you can get your mind really going, that type of thing.
Well, and it's just easier and it's a better quality coffee because we source like some of the best coffees in the world. And like I do all the sourcing myself. And so we pull from straight from Colombia. We have a source that pulls right from Colombia. And then we've got some great farms in Guatemala and Peru and Ethiopia that we bring from. So it's also, not only is it coffee that's made well, but it's also like a really high-end coffee. So it's easier, it's faster, and it's better than any coffee you're going to get at most cafes. There's some really great cafes in Winnipeg, but I would say we're higher quality than 80% of them.
Yeah, and he's only going to be going a full tilt till 2:30, and then at 2:30 he puts his head on his desk and he sleeps for an
Maybe I'm supposed to
hour.
have 2 a day. Maybe you
Maybe
get
I have
that.
to have another
In
one.
the army, we call that the PMS, the post meal sleepies. So
Say it again?
yeah, post meal sleepies.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
PMS.
I don't
Yeah.
eat much during the day at work, so I define that like very busy from noon until 1
Yeah,
during the time when everybody else goes for lunch is when I can get stuff done because nobody's
Less noise.
bothering me and
Yeah.
there's less noise. So I generally don't take lunch. So coffee, it used to be a coffee in the morning when we make it in the brewer, and then I'd have a coffee again in the afternoon. Now, like I'll have this usually around 10 o'clock,
Mhm.
9-10 o'clock type of thing because
Yeah.
I don't know if you do this at all, like cold plunges, cold showers. Do you do any of that?
no, I just
No,
wake up and
you
have
haven't
coffee
got-
and start working. Yeah.
So
I like sauna, but
sauna's
yeah,
great. If
yeah.
if that's my next thing I want to get is a sauna, like an
Yeah.
infrared, but you have to get it to be hot enough that it's
Yeah.
worth it. But so I do cold showers every morning, and they're supposed to get your blood flowing and get you
Sure.
going. So I'll generally have a coffee when I feel like I need that coffee.
And this is like the latest study on coffee is, and this is from Andrew Huberman. I don't know if you know who he is, but big podcaster. I think he's a neuroscientist, but just does health stuff. But really, the data on how to maximize the effectiveness of coffee is that you actually don't drink it right when you wake up.
Mhm.
So your body, so coffee is a diuretic, so it's gonna dehydrate you a bit,
Yep.
right? But in the morning, you're gonna sweat out and breathe out a lot of moisture overnight. So the best thing you can do is, if you can do it with electrolytes, even better. But you hydrate for the first hour or two, and your cortisol is going to be high in the morning. So you want that cortisol to come down a bit. Then, if you consume coffee within 90 minutes, 120 minutes into your day, that's actually going to prevent that caffeine crash that people talk about.
Okay.
So everyone's like, "Oh, matcha doesn't have the crash." It's bullshit. Caffeine is a
If you don't know this,
molecule.
Sean loves matcha.
I hate matcha. It's disgusting.
I
Should be
agree. I'm
illegal.
with you on that. My
Yeah,
kids love it.
It's because it's TikTok-y, so that's why they like it. But the
got all the colors.
Yeah. So the effectiveness of caffeine is best used about 2 hours after you wake up, after you've rehydrated your body, and then it balances out your cortisol so that you're not going to crash.
It's funny you say that because the mornings that I have the 6 a.m.
Mhm.
workout class
Mhm.
and I don't have coffee first thing and I have the big cup of coffee after the class, I notice I don't have the crash as
No.
much as the mornings where I
So
don't.
if you consume it first thing and you do get more dehydration before your body and your
Yeah.
cortisol can balance,
Yeah.
it'll give you that afternoon crash. So it's the caffeine that's doing that.
Right.
But yeah, just fight it. Just wait that extra hour or two and
Yep.
and then have your coffee, and then you won't get the crash. And matcha is not the answer. Neither is a Red Bull. Like that's not it. It's just how your body is going to interact with the caffeine molecule.
Yeah.
So when we're driving around looking for coffee shops,
Yeah.
okay, we have this joke amongst the guys
Mhm.
that the more woke the coffee shop is,
Mhm.
the better the coffee is.
Yeah, that's a trend. Yeah.
Okay, and it kind of goes to what you were saying,
Mhm.
where you've kind of bucked the trend. You're going the opposite for the everyday dude.
You have like the
Yeah.
have like the fire, the police, the military. It's more like Black Rifle in the States, I believe, is a coffee company that kind of gears towards that.
Mhm.
It's more of this is a everyday person coffee.
I love it when some dirty truck shows up in front of Sheepdog and the guys from the framing job come in for coffee.
Yeah.
Because I remember what that was like. I loved coffee, but if I went into a coffee shop, I remember one time being like absolutely just accosted by some people in a very woke coffee shop who didn't think police should be in there. And it was like, you want to talk about safe spaces, then you want to yell at me after I just left a crime scene where somebody did something horrific and like I'm carrying that and all I want is a cup of coffee and you're accosting me for being the bad guy. Like, get the out of here.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that we are actually accepting of everyone, including guys that would love a good cup of coffee. But and I say guys because it's like I think a lot of men feel like it's socially acceptable for them to get 2 monsters at Domo on the way to work,
Right.
but it's not cool for them to go to a coffee shop and get a good coffee. And so I think that we want to make a space where those guys can walk in and be like, oh yeah, like I belong here. This is cool.
Yeah.
And like, we painted our whole place black and we make it look like kind of like a bunker, and the whole branding is really to just like, it's because I like it. I like the branding. So
Yeah.
guys like me should like it too.
Yeah.
That's the theory.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's your branding has evolved over the last little while
Mhm.
too. Have you done all the branding yourself?
I've used some different like freelance people, but I've really been very in control of most of it. And I now have like a marketing director that works with me, and she's phenomenal. My whole team's phenomenal, and um, they're passionate about the brand, and so that bleeds through the whole team. And yeah, so she does like a lot of the legwork for me now, but I'm very involved in it too. And but I have to give her where credit's due. Like over the last, she started with me in July. She's just totally amplified our brand. She's unbelievable. So she gets it. She's like,
That
she's
includes your Instagram and
she does
TikTok.
everything. The only thing I do completely myself is my own LinkedIn.
Okay.
So I do that completely on my own. I post almost every day on LinkedIn. But she handles almost everything, and um, I love having her on the team. My whole team I love. Yeah.
And LinkedIn would be more geared towards you developing relationships with some bigger suppliers and
Well, she
distributors.
actually really pushed me to start on LinkedIn. I think I had about 40 followers 3 months ago. I now have 3,000. We're just shy of 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
So I've grown really fast on LinkedIn. But really, my approach on LinkedIn is to talk about business from a real world perspective, how people actually talk,
Yeah.
And I'm very like kind of raw and honest with it, but I never, I on people who do, like, I even like will call people out in my comment section if I think that they're using AI to write comments. Like I just hate it. So like most of my posts have spelling mistakes, and they, maybe the sentence structure isn't good, but like I just don't want to submit to the AI robots and become one of them. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think there's a bit of genuineness there, and then just trying to get myself in. LinkedIn's kind of like a trade show that you're at 24/7.
Yeah.
So we've done a couple of trade shows now, and um, it's true. I have all like tons of connections, and even like I was just in Anaheim at the biggest natural foods expo in the country, or in the continent. 65,000 people, and I got recognized every hour by someone in Anaheim who follows me on
Really?
LinkedIn.
That's
Yeah.
super cool, eh?
So just and because it's like industry specific, right?
Yeah.
So I can really like, and even like one of the hacks on LinkedIn is you can like say there's a company you want to partner with or work with, someone you want to meet, like you can look up that company and add the staff there and connect with them and send them a message, and then you build those relationships digitally that then there's some familiarity. So then when they see me at a trade show, and then on the
You're a
flip side
real
too,
person.
it's a real person. They have some familiarity with me, and it opens that door so much faster. So LinkedIn's been great for me. I really, and I didn't want to do it for a long time.
You
So.
say the unpolished. My favorite clip that you guys have posted recently was the one where it's you and you crack the cold brew and somebody walks in front of the video. It's like, sorry. And you're like,
yeah.
you just let it happen.
Excuse me. We even had someone on the side of the aisle trying to stop people from walking in so we could film this like reel, like just a dumb like TikTok reel, and then he just like pushed his way past, and I was like, and then the reaction was so genuine. We're like, well, that's actually a better video than the one we were gonna film.
And he even said sorry as he's like walking by.
Yeah, it was super funny.
Yeah. So it's the unpolished that makes you seem more real too, and less AI generated.
Well, and what we just did now too is we've got a videographer now that we're embedding in the company.
Okay.
And the idea is that like we want to document building the company from the inside out. So our approach really is going forward is founder-led brand built on service of others. Service of others is kind of our flag in the sand, and we're going to be kind of exposing everything as we do it. So we want to have this videographer capture things in the raw, and then he's super talented young kid, but he puts it together in a way that's entertaining, but it really is not. We don't, and this drives some marketing people nuts, but I'm like, we're not writing a script. Like we just are the script, and we're just going to show people what we're doing, and just be as open with it as possible. And the more open we are, the better people respond.
So
like,
no script, but like, do you have like 1-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals?
For the business? Yeah, for sure we do. Like sales goals and stuff. But like, and I've said this before, and I say this on LinkedIn, like I'm not motivated by money. Like money doesn't, like I have no desire to have a Ferrari. I just want a truck that can do stuff. And like I'm not motivated by money. I really I love building the brand. I love the community we've built around it, and I
Mhm.
just want to do that bigger. I just want to keep growing it, and as long as I'm eating and I got a place to live, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, that's cool. So when you say non-scripted, you would have points
Mhm.
like this is the points we want to hit. This is like we're very
Like, there's
similar with our
like an
podcast.
overarching strategy. Like
Yeah.
we have the trade show coming up. Okay, so let's show everybody how we're building the trade show booth and that we have goals, and show our planning. Like, we have these big whiteboards in our office,
Yeah.
and like let's show, like, hey, like, we didn't just show up at this and everything went smooth. Like, let's show all of it. Well, the idea was that we would have like a tiered kind of like bunker looking display behind us. Put the Yetis on the sides. We pack everything into these. Booth is the storage. So we'll cover all of this with black, and then it's kind of like, I think it's a vibe. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's a vibe. Sean just curated a layered look.
I mean, I think this is pretty vibey. What do you guys think? And like, just like, even like, there's a term in business called accounts receivable. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that before. I had never heard of that before. And like 4 years ago, I had never heard of that. And so the idea that, like,
That's how you pay your employees.
it's something like that, right?
Once you
I still don't really know. Yeah. But like
the guys with the spreadsheets know it.
Yeah, they know it. That's enough for me.
The psychopaths.
Yeah. But like, business is like, to me, it seemed like this mythical thing that I would never do. Like, there was nobody in my family. Like, we were like as blue collars they come, firefighters, cops, teachers, like there's nobody in our family that ever did a business before.
Right.
So like, I want to like demystify that for a lot of people and show them that anyone can do this. Like, that, like, yeah, you're going to work a lot, but like, you get to work a lot. It's a privilege. So like, just, we want to just show that, and like, and just be like genuine with it, and not be corporate.
So some personal stuff.
Mhm.
Kids?
No kids. No.
Married?
Single.
Single? So
Yeah.
you have a lot of time right now.
I do have a lot of time. Well, I don't have a lot of free time because of the business, but
Yes.
yes,
But no,
I
but
don't
you have a
the
lot of time for your
constraints of a family.
business.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years ago, if I had told you the answer, I would have been completely wrong. So I have no idea.
Yeah. What's a goal? What's a 5-year goal for you right now?
Well, I want to be a national beverage brand. I don't know.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
reframe it.
No.
What's
yeah.
a 5-year personal goal for you, as opposed to a business goal?
I'm 3 years sober. My business is growing fast. I'm meeting incredible people every day. I have no personal goals other than that if I keep doing the right thing, things will be what they be. Will be what they're going to be. I think that I've had a lot of blessings, a lot of opportunities that I probably don't deserve, and so I don't have any. But opportunities will come, and doors will open and close, and I have no idea.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that?
Yeah.
So you talked about in another previous podcast that I watched that you were at one time doing full-time police work, and you were working on the brand full-time.
Yeah.
And it kind of runs off what Greg's saying right now, where we asked this question about a life balance, and you're doing both full-time. And there's no such thing as being balanced, especially when you're doing two things full-time.
Yeah.
So something has to fall by the wayside temporarily or permanently. Do you find that when you're working all the time, that something is lagging behind, and is it more on the personal side that suffers?
Oh yeah, like, I have a house cleaner. I don't make any meals for myself. I don't drink. I don't really go out. I don't golf every day in the summer. I don't go away on vacations. All of that is not part of my life. But if I wanted ordinary results, I would do ordinary things. And so, and this goes back to earlier. The brand is a reflection of me. And so with that, I get to do things with the brand that are fun. So I was just on a business trip to California, but like, I came back feeling more energized and ready to go than ever. And I was working the whole time. I was hanging out with, like, everything was, networking, as much as I hate that word, but like, it all was. And
Socializing.
Yeah. So yeah, of course things have to go, but I guess you just got to pick what you want. And I think what I want is just more opportunities. So
yeah,
I don't, I think there's a pain period, like when I was working full time as the police. The hardest part for me with that was our brand was fun. My team was fun. and I would go to the, I worked downtown, like in the core, go from like awful, like, and I, I love police officers. I think that they're some of the best people in the world. But I don't love police management, and I don't
Hmm.
love politicians, and I don't love lawyers. And so they make it a very miserable place to work for people that are really, really salt of the earth. And so going from a very, very awful work environment where some of the best people on the planet are being just absolutely treated terribly, and then having to go and like sleep 2 hours and then get to a meeting with my staff, shape shifting between the two personalities of being like there's you got to be a different type of duck to be able to police in a high crime area and poverty, but shape shifting and remembering that we were doing something good was the hardest part, and it was so emotionally draining for me to like go from where people are crying because someone was murdered or committed suicide, and then having to go and have someone want to talk about a collab they want to do and how fun it is and stuff. And
Yeah.
as much as like that part just ripped my soul apart, but there's a grind phase there that I think everyone has to go through, and it feels like now doors are opening in places I never would have dreamed of.
Yeah.
But yet there is a sacrifice phase where things are going to be pretty miserable for a bit, where you're doing everything, but the whole goal is that only some people get to the point where they got some of the opportunities that we're getting, and so you got to work through to get to them. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Everyone says that, but like, it's a necessary trade, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You like where you're at right now.
Yeah.
So following up on Tim's question, as he followed up on mine, is there a danger in having your personal brand be dictated by your business brand?
1000%.
Do you find that you lose yourself personally because you visualize yourself as a coffee brand right now, as opposed to just Shawn Black?
It's odd that I get recognized everywhere I go in Winnipeg, because all I do is I sell brown bean water. But like I get recognized places. But I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity, and I think that's going to grow. But like part of the sobriety thing too is like, I used to work overtime at Jets games and Bomber games and all those things, and as a cop, and you'd see how some people behave, and I'd look back and I was like, oh, I used to do that too. I was a sloppy disaster when I was an alcoholic, and I still am an alcoholic, but like I just thought I never want anyone to see me that way and like be remembered as the guy who had bad breath and spit all over my face talking to me about some bullshit. Like I don't want to be that guy ever. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, I met Shawn from Sheepdog. It was bad. Like
Yeah.
So it helped me get sober to be like, if you're gonna do this, you gotta hold yourself to a higher standard.
For sure.
So it made it easier to make the transition to sobriety.
Awesome. We're going to transition into a different topic altogether here. Sure. This is a game we play with every one of our guests.
Okay.
We quickly transitioned from serious to fun. We should have we should have like some kind of transition period.
Should we do the
speaking of balloons and then we talk about hot air balloons?
I think something did it,
at least something to make it a little bit lighter. That was really quick, by the way. Wow. Okay, the haha stuff now, Shawn.
Let's do the haha stuff.
No, I can appreciate the answer, and I can appreciate what you're saying. And like I said, the only thing that I would be worried about is your identity being rooted in your brand as opposed to being rooted in what you want yourself to be. Mm-hmm. So that's why I asked the question. It's not because we ask a lot of questions of you today, and a lot of the answers came as more brand based answers, right? So and that's why I asked, like, do you have kids? Do you have a wife or anything like that right now? And you saying no, you don't. Mm-hmm. It makes sense to me because I remember when I was younger and I could just focus on 100% on work, right? So it's good in the season, and maybe in 5 years there's a different.
What he wants to ask
season.
you is, do you see yourself in 5-10 years being married with kids?
Yeah, I would love to have a family. Yeah, okay. I'm ready for that. Yeah,
there you go.
Okay, now to the fun stuff.
Now to the fun stuff. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I'll throw one.
Yeah, you go
absolutely.
Ahead.
As you learn all of the things that you learn in business, you become better at leveraging your time.
Yeah.
And so I would think that even with now, I could support a family. Like if that day came, and it's not going to be tomorrow, but
no.
I'm far better at using my time effectively. Where at the beginning I had to do a lot of tasks that, but we got the business to a place where it would support me doing the things I want to do correctly that have high leverage.
Mhm.
And so when you learn how to do that, and I bet you if I had a family a year ago, I would have just learned how to do it faster because I wouldn't want my kid to be ignored or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
you just learn how to leverage time better and
Yeah.
more effectively.
And not even time, but you would argue that 3 years ago, because you said you're 3 years sober, and congratulations for that, by the way, that you wouldn't be ready to have a healthy relationship, not just kids, but with a
All
wife,
relationships,
scheduling and all those things, right? And so,
Yeah.
like you say, there's going to be a time, but
Yeah.
you personally
Mhm.
would not be ready for that.
I wouldn't have been then.
So we're going to
Cool.
play a game called This or That.
Okay.
It is a game where you get to pick one thing
Okay.
or the other. But the key thing is when you pick one thing, the other one doesn't exist. It goes away for whatever, in some
vanishes.
kind of
Okay.
alternate universe, Mandela effect thing. It goes away 100%.
Don't get
So
into the
you-
Mandela effect.
No, we don't want to do that.
Tim
We don't-
always
we-
gets into
we don't
it.
have time. I don't want to do that. And I forgot one other thing with the rules, and I don't
The
know
rule
what it
is that one goes away forever, and you cannot pass.
Oh, we can't pass.
and you
You do
must
not-
pick one.
But you don't have to elaborate on whatever. You can say pass, but you can, if you have some kind of
Okay.
stake in the game, you can go on about, say whatever you want about it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go first one. Go ahead.
Apple or Android?
Oh, Android.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Perfect. I win one. That's
I did not think it was going to go that way. Okay, well, the episode's
Hey,
over.
hey. Are you sitting for 6 hours?
Oh,
in a-
sorry. Which one? Sorry.
Which one
I said
do you-
Android I want to keep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the one
yeah,
you
yeah,
get to
you're
keep.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're
Do you
still
have to-
wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have to go over the rules again?
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Would you rather sit with Greg on a beach for 6 hours, or you want to climb a mountain with me?
I climbed the mountain.
There you go, 2 for 2.
When you say it that way, anyway,
I
I'm
said
not
it
sitting on a
perfectly.
beach for 6 hours.
Oh, you're sitting on a beach.
Just
for
not
6
climbing the
hours.
mountain for 6 hours.
Okay, sure. He's gonna go 6 hours. I've done it 6
Do
hours.
a product pitch on stage to 1,000 people, or have a one-on-one meeting with one big investor.
The investor.
This one's
and we're only
interesting.
going to do 3 here, but I'm sure you know a lot more than we do. Just coffee alone.
Well, let's do 4.
Okay, Tim's, McDonald's, Starbucks.
Okay, just those 3.
I
One of
have
those
to
3.
pick one.
You have to pick one of
Just
those.
coffee. Just coffee.
If
McDonald's, Tim's, and Starbucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you keep Starbucks.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's usually one of the, like, we go back and forth between all 3 of those ones.
Okay.
Would you rather have 1 great product or 10 good products?
One good one.
1 great one?
Would you rather celebrate a big win with your team, or quietly alone plan the next goal?
Oh, that's a hard one.
You like the pep rally?
I want to say the pep rally, but I'm really bad for acknowledging goals. I just always look for the next thing to do. So
You're the running back that gets to the end zone and quietly hands the ball to the referee and then walks
Yeah.
back to the huddle?
yeah. So I'm gonna pick the celebration because that's actually more fun.
Okay.
All right.
So you can't quietly plan your next goal then. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Netflix and chill with your sweatpants on the couch, or a romantic dinner out?
Dinner out.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Right. I get crucified in this next one, but whatever. Showers or baths?
Showers.
All right.
People that take baths are...
Weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I should just do that. I should
Yeah.
say, finish this sentence.
Yeah.
Risk or stability?
Risk.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And Tim loves this question, so I like...
So just the risk thing.
Mhm.
Do you because guys tend to be a little bit more higher risk, right? We than women are.
Mhm.
What, like, is it the excitement thing about a risk? Like, do you like that adrenaline going? Like, what is it about risk that you
Risk comes
love?
reward.
Okay, fair enough. The last one, which is gone from there. If you had a superhero ability,
Mhm.
only could pick one of 2 things.
Mhm.
Would you rather be able to fly, or would you rather have the power of invisibility?
Invisibility.
Okay, that's personal preference. Why? Why? Why?
Why invisibility?
Why?
I'm scared of heights.
I'm terrified of heights.
Are you?
Okay.
Something you didn't know about Shawn.
There
We
you
didn't do that question.
Well, I think it'd be nice to just be places and not have to worry about the social pressure. So, yeah, not that I don't, social pressure doesn't really stress me out, but I mean, if I could just be like, I'm just going to delete myself out of this room for a little bit. And,
Just feel like that.
like that'd be.
And
cool to
what
me.
about social pressure don't you like?
As I put myself out there more socially, I feel a responsibility to be true to who I am.
Yeah.
And sometimes when the energy is low, it's hard to maintain. So, any of the content we do, my hope is that if someone wants to meet me, and I'm not a celebrity, I just sell coffee, but if someone did meet me, I want them to to know that I care. And part of that is like making sure that when I leave my house in the morning, I have enough energy to be thoughtful with other people.
Right.
So,
And when he doesn't want people to see him, he can just go invisible.
yeah, exactly. When I'm just like, the battery's drained, I'm gonna just go.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
I like
based
the
on your
answer.
comments, you probably don't like the small talk aspect of it either.
I'm just not good at it. I don't know what to talk
Right.
about because I don't have conventional hobbies. Like I don't really follow sports, and I
Yeah.
don't.
Do you like the sports?
Yeah, right. Like, and I
Sports are
like to go
good.
fishing, but if some guy's like, "Have you seen the new Rapala deep dive?" Whatever, I'm like, "No, I haven't."
There's a new brand of bass fish out there.
Yeah, like I can't really get into the weeds with you
It's
on
called
anything.
the Bassomatic.
Yeah.
All right. One person.
Okay.
One person. Dead or alive, historic, personal, doesn't matter. But you have to pick one person that you could choose to have a 20-minute conversation with this afternoon or this evening. Who would that person be?
Jesus Christ.
Now
And
we have a
one
rule
Mhm.
that if you can't pick Jesus,
Okay.
and here's the reason why, because Jesus is with you all the time.
I like that rule.
So you can have a 20-minute conversation whenever you want. So for that reason you have to pick somebody else.
Dead or alive? Robin Williams.
Oh, that would be an interesting conversation for sure.
I want that explained a little bit. I kind of see where you're going with that, but why?
I think I don't idolize people.
Yeah.
I've met a few like celebrities over the years, and they always say don't meet your hero. And it's
Yeah.
true. Some I've met have been phenomenal. I met Robert Greene. I don't know if you know him. He wrote like the 48 Laws of Power, a whole bunch of other super successful book. He wrote a book all about 50 Cent called The 50th Law. He's like absolute, like I would say for our generation, he's going to go down as one of the best authors of all time. And he was even kinder and more fantastic in person than I would have imagined. And then I've met other ones where I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
that sucked.
Not a cool person.
Yeah. But I would say there's a few people I look at and I'm like, oh, like I resonate. And I had a really bad mental health stretch where, especially when I was drinking heavy, where suicide was on the top of my mind for a long time. And I look at kind of three people, like three celebrities I really think about that are like just have been through some mental games. And I look at Jim Carrey, who's still with us, and then Anthony Bourdain and Robin Williams. And I think what I resonate with them is their whole life was built around entertaining others, and then they lost themselves in it. And I think they're phenomenal examples of when something gets taken too far and the torture of that. And so I think Robin Williams would be, if I could sit and have a serious conversation with him, that'd be the one that I would want to sit with and just,
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. 100%. Thank you for that. Top 3 places in Winnipeg to go out with friends on a date. Can be a restaurant. It can be the spa. It can be a jet game. It can be anything. Be the Leaf.
3 things.
Top 3.
One question I ask people a lot is if you brought a friend to Winnipeg who had never been here, where would you take them?
That's exactly it.
Yeah. Okay, top 3. I think they're very seasonal, but I think Festival de Voyageur is like an unbelievable Winnipeg thing where everyone shows up and then everyone goes away. I don't know where they are for the rest of the year. And this one's kind of dying, but in its peak, I would say Nuit Blanche was also really cool. Like when Nuit Blanche, we go downtown and it would be just like art and young people all over the streets, and it just felt like you're in another city. So I'd say those 2 would probably be up there. And then I think for me, I'm a foodie. I'd have a hard time picking one restaurant because we've got some great food in Winnipeg. But I think the best place to have food and get into a deep conversation would probably be, I'm going to go with the basement of Pizzeria Gusto.
There's a
private event.
basement?
Yeah, they've got like a private event space down there that's like got this long kind of like share table.
Okay.
It's just got a good vibe down there. The owner of Gusto has been, and I actually met him through Foot Patrol, and I was in Foot Patrol. He's been, he's always been a big champion of mine and really like encouraged me over the years. So I have a lot of respect for him. And so I would say, and just seeing the care that he cares about, like the level he cares about looking after people with that like old Italian, like, you meet him once and he's kissing you on the cheek and like just, so I would say the basement room at Gusto with like a group of great people.
Cool.
That's fantastic.
And of course, Sheepdog Brewing Company.
Yeah, and then you can come for a coffee after. Yeah, or before. Whatever. Yeah.
So this is our last question, then you're off the hook.
Okay.
One piece of advice that you would give to someone that is going into business for themselves today.
Can I give two, like a two-parter? I hate it when people complain. I hate it when people complain about the work of entrepreneurship. I hate, one of my big pet peeves is when people complain at airports about stuff, and it's like you're getting on a tube and like transporting to another place on the planet in a few minutes. Like, shut up. Yeah, they might get delayed, whatever, but like, so don't complain. It's gonna be hard, but like you'll figure it out. And so just shut up and look at any challenge you have as the business as an opportunity and a blessing that you get to do this, because there's places in the world that people can't. And so we live in a very beautiful place where you get the opportunity to create something and share it with people. And then my other way, so I would say just don't complain, shut up. And then my second piece would be, I believe there's only one way to make money, and you have to, and I said this on another podcast and caught a bit of heat for it, but I believe it. The only way to make money and to run a business is to find a way to add value to other people's lives. And then the scale of value you can provide is relative to what you create. So if you're in a unionized position, pretty much all that means is, as a police officer, we are unionized. The society has assessed the value that we offer the world as a police officer at whatever your salary compensation is going to be. And if you want to have more value and provide to the world, you have to find out what the value is. If you want to charge one person $1 million to do something for them, you have to find a value that equates to $1 million. If you want to, and then for us, like if we make $1 a can, I'd like to think that we could provide hundreds of thousands of people with $1 worth of value every time that they, or $4 our price, like just use $1 as an easy number, but like whatever that value is, you have to look at and just say, what value can I add to others, and make all your decisions about providing and serving others. And so that would be my piece of advice is, if you're thinking about a business, the only way to do it is to find value for others.
That's a great answer.
Fantastic. Awesome.
And also, before you do a chug off, you need to get the rules and what you get
And
for
a
it. Because you get
bib.
because we didn't
Can we
say
get a
that, and
bib?
I didn't getting a bib too, but I didn't set
You should
the parameters.
get Sheepdog bibs.
That's what a loser says.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the winner just says you're the winner and I'm the loser.
Yeah. Well, somebody was first, somebody was last.
Someone was
Yeah,
last.
if you're not first, you're last, and I
Yeah.
didn't even. I wasn't even in the race. I wasn't even in the
Technically, you were
race.
last. I was not last.
I wasn't even in the
Anyway,
race.
thanks so
So,
much for being on the
thanks
Thanks for having
episode.
me.
Thanks for
And-
watching the episode today. Thanks, Shawn, for
Thank you having
coming.
me. Thank you.
Don't forget, you can go to the link below. Can people buy your stuff online?
Yeah, just come to our store though.
But-
It's cheaper.
No,
We
like
give it
people
to some
outside
store.
of Winnipeg.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
do ship outside of
We
Winnipeg?
ship Canada wide now.
Canada wide.
Yeah.
So if you are outside of Winnipeg, try Sheepdog. You can ship Canada wide. If you're in Winnipeg, South Landing,
Unit 870 South Landing.
and it's great. The vibe in there is great. The customer service is fantastic.
Thank you.
When I was there, the girl that was working the front gave me a taste test of everything, and I was trying them all out, and the customer service there was unbelievable.
Thank you.
And check it out, Sheepdog Brewing Company. And
for everyone
my-
else, we need to say to like, subscribe,
like,
share,
subscribe, share. 'Cause
comments,
we always forget that part.
and yeah,
And people never really like, subscribe, or share. But the comments, if
people
you have
never like,
comments,
subscribe, share, and
Some
comment.
people have subscribed and
Okay.
shared.
If you disagree with what I had to say today, put it in the comments because I'll fight you on it. So
Yeah,
No, and
that'd
we
be
need,
awesome.
we need the negative and
Yeah.
the positive.
We like the
and
negative and
all of
positive.
the comments. They're all good, and we really appreciate.
We
you being
recently
on.
met a mob guy, and Tim posted it on a mob chat,
Oh, yeah.
and he's gotten 500 and something
No. If he's gonna
comments
bring
on
it
this.
up, no. So
Yeah.
yesterday, now you brought
We
it
don't have to
up.
go into the whole depth of
Yesterday at
it.
church, I met the underboss of the entire mafia of New York in the 1990s.
No way.
He was walking into church. We went to the first service, walking out of first service, and he is walking by himself. He's 81 years old. At one time, he controlled
in
all.
Winnipeg?
No,
it was
in-
it was
Oh,
in
you were
it was
in
in
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Wow.
At one point, he controlled all of the city of New York
No,
as underboss of the Gambino family, and he was walking in at 81 by himself into church.
Wow.
It was insane. Anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim posted it and got roasted. in
it
the
was
comments.
on one mob chat. Like it was a Facebook. It wasn't even public, but it was on one group where it's all mob people that like the mafia or whatever. Because he snitched on his boss, who was John Gotti. So it was like 70%, rat. BASTARD and all that stuff. It was kind of funny, actually. There's a lot in 2 hours. I got like 600 comments. It was great.
It's crazy.
So, but it was cool. Got pictures
Anyway,
and everything.
so if you have any comments about mob bosses,
Yeah.
Tim loves those too. So
you brought it
thanks.
up, so I had to go into
Yeah.
detail. But thank you. It was so
Thanks
great
again
to have
for
you on
joining
the
us, Shawn.
episode.
We really appreciate this.
Yeah.
Have a great day. See you later, Tim.
See, ow, that's my sunburn.
Thanks for watching the Greg and Tim Show podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your friends. Sharing is caring.